Hey y'all, welcome back to Bookshelf of Opinions. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Hannah.
And this is episode, I don't know, it doesn't matter.
Like 14.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah. I want to say 11, but I know it's not 11.
We're well past 11. But we're in season 2. In case y'all
We've
forgot.
been in season 2 for a hot minute now.
Okay,
We're in
but
February. It's my birthday week! It's your birthday week!
Hey,
I'm turning, by the time this episode comes out, I'll
she'll
be 22. Yep, so everyone should send me a gift. Anyways,
Yeah.
Hannah, what have you been listening to?
I have been listening to my early 2000s rom-com playlist, per usual.
Okay.
And then... Goodbye Yesterday by Elevation Rhythm
Okay.
on repeat. And then, In the Room. Is that what it is? The Maverick City song?
I don't know.
In the Room?
Okay,
that
cool.
feels right.
Sure, yeah.
So, those have been my worship songs on repeat. And then
Nice.
my rom-coms playlist.
Any specific
Because-
song in that?
Dancing in the Moonlight, Always Suddenly I See. I play it on my way to work and on my way home because it makes me feel like a girl boss because of The Devil Wears Prada. I'm like, yes! I'm like, I feel so ready for work. I don't know why that's so funny, Elizabeth. That like broke you.
Just the way you're explaining it.
That's
No,
totally how it is.
great.
It's like the opening sequence is that, and it's all the
I know.
high-powered people
I
getting
just
ready to
think
go
that's
to work
great.
in fashion.
I'm
except
saying
for
that's
going to work in
great.
politics.
It's great for you. Like, I think that is funny. It's fitting for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What have you been listening to?
I'm gonna be honest. I have not really been listening to music. I've been listening to a 2-part episode of Crime Junkie on the murders of the Lundy family in Australia.
Sounds
The dad is
about
currently
right.
convicted. This happened in 2009, but the dad's convicted, and they found like brain matter on his shirt from his wife and daughter. But apparently, he's not the one that actually killed them. So I think there's like a second person. I'll give you an update when I finish the second episode.
Okay,
That's what I've been listening to.
perfect. What have you been reading?
Okay, so I started my reread of Dance of Thieves, so now I'm actually tabbing it, and everything, all the tabs have a, and I feel like, I'm like 18 again and rereading it, you know?
Mhm.
'Cause I feel like I'm going back to myself. That sounds so lame when I say it that way. I never turn and stare at you this way. It's
I know.
very awkward for me. But I'm reading Dance of Thieves right now. What about you?
I started actually like only today a novel love story
Mm-hmm.
finally, and I've tabbed and highlighted a lot.
And
I love it.
what I told you was correct?
Yes, it makes me think of book lovers a lot. I'm
Very
very
good, very
excited.
good.
I have lots of theories.
It's very good. Very good.
Sorry,
just-
Robin? What have you been listening to?
Yeah.
Oh, hey guys. I have been listening to, honestly, like not a lot, which is really weird. I typically have music going all the time, but I feel like I've just been like busy and grinding it out. And so I guess I've just been listening to like the thoughts in my head is probably what I've been listening to most.
Welcome to
Scary,
the
but
club.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't tell me to do bad things. So I think it's okay.
Oh, then you're good.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've been listening to.
Good. What have you been reading?
So I just finished Onyx Storm,
Nice.
like all the other book girlies out there right now, which was great. And so I'm just beginning my dive into Akatar. So a lot of people have recommended it, and honestly, I will tell you guys, I am a like habitual. I will watch or read anything if there's like a ton of memes about it on the internet, and I don't
Mhm.
understand them. Like I want to know the
Mhm,
joke.
mhm.
Like I want to be on the inside. And so I see them, and so I'm like, I gotta read this just so I can understand and fully like laugh at this. That is how I watched like the million seasons of Doctor Who, because I kept seeing funny like memes about it, and I was like, I don't understand. I want to understand. And so then all of a sudden, 13, 14 seasons later,
You
in every
understood?
episode. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I love it. It's hilarious. It's funny, but it's all because of the memes that I got into it.
We're glad you're
Nice.
finally reading
Yes.
Avatar. I'm excited.
I guess we'll talk more about
I'll
you
say-
reading it later.
And
In a moment.
all you're reading, because you
Yeah.
read all of Throne of Glass.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you
Yes.
read in a different order.
She's
so I'm
doing
curious.
chronologically ordered.
I know. I'm
Mhm.
very excited for that.
Very excited.
So we have a special guest this episode.
Yeah, give a round of applause for Robin.
yes.
Woo!
Woo,
So-
guys.
Robin is a short-term, long-term friend. I don't know.
Short term.
Are you saying our friendship's short term?
No,
Like,
I'm
not
saying
around
we've
much
only we
longer,
haven't. No,
or-
I'm saying we've been friends not for like we've
Not
known each
for-
other for like 2
yeah.
years.
Not as long as you guys, obviously.
No, but we've had a solid. I guess technically this would be our 3rd year of knowing each other.
Yeah.
Really,
It's make or break year.
for real. But we've had a solid. I would say like
Really? Only 3 years?
2022. Well, technically 2021 Church on a Hike is when we met, but 2022 is like when we actually knew each other. I would say,
Is that when you moved back?
yeah.
Okay.
And that's when I started, and we started working together. And then I would say like 2023 solidified our friendship.
I was gonna say the first time I like hung out with Robin like in a gatherings when we went to that church thing for your sister, and we drove to that church, and then we got Chick-fil-A beforehand, and that was 2023. And I remember thinking they all love Robin. I'm just here for the ride. Like I did. I was like I couldn't go.
I was like I'm the old lady here that's married that they felt pity and invited me.
But but Robin, and then I've met long-term friend because I'm like, well, we're friends.
I just thought you were trying to enter friendship here right now.
No,
like very
I just
publicly.
meant
It's now bookshelf of opinions with Robin and Elizabeth. We're exiling Hannah.
Yeah. Thank you. Perfect. I'm
perfect.
So glad to be hired.
I just want to know how every single time we have a guest, I end up getting kicked off the podcast. Somehow I'm like replaced. I'm like, oh, thank you.
We know who's not replaceable, so
exactly. Clearly, because it's both Elizabeth and Hannah. But no, I'm sorry. I was going to say a lot of nice things about Robin, but never mind.
Ahead, please.
Never mind.
Shower her compliments.
I was going to shower her in compliments. I was going to say that like she's more than a friend, and like she's sometimes a big sister and gives really good advice. But then
more
we also
than a friend. You're so wrong.
Okay,
Robin, she's more than a friend. Woof, I'm fired.
Okay. I was trying to be
and I met Robin through Hannah.
Yes.
And now me and Robin are friends, right?
Yeah,
I would call us friends too.
I took you outside of Hannah.
Exactly.
That's real friendship.
I've hung out with you outside of Hannah.
Yes, that's real friendship.
Yeah, I have multiple connections to you outside of Hannah.
Oh my gosh.
Are we better friends than me and Hannah?
It's fine, guys. I'm just going to go cry about this real quick.
Okay.
Save the crying for me.
Yeah. But Robin is the kids' first director at a church where we're from that I also go to. And so, well, I was trying not to say the church name specifically, but wanted to give props to all the good work she does with kids and students.
Yeah, thanks.
And that's why she's a good source of advice.
Hopefully.
I mean, she's close enough in age that it's easy to be friends with, but also she's lived a little bit more life. So she knows some things.
Made a couple more
sometimes,
wrong decisions, right?
Should Robin give a blurb about her life? Okay.
She doesn't. But Robin is married, like she said.
Yes.
Has been married for
6 years.
Round of applause.
Let's go.
6 years. And we are expecting our first child. So
round of applause.
We got a bun in the oven, you know, I'm doing some bodybuilding. I like all the funny old phrases, you know. So July this summer, you know.
So exciting.
Expecting a baby boy.
Very exciting. I don't know. Anything to add to our blurb about Robin?
I don't know. I think that covers it all.
Yeah. I really didn't prepare anything. I was just trying to be sweet and sentimental in the moment. She has really cool hair when she...
Yeah, it's kind of faded right now, but typically it's colorful.
Yeah. But
I like to keep it bright.
She has a good sense of style.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
especially when she texts me and asks for opinions on what to wear. And then she wears what I say. I'm like, yeah.
Then those are the moments I have the best style.
Yeah. But no. We'll jump right into it, I guess.
Yes, we will. Yeah, that's the first time we said this episode. We haven't said that
I
at all.
know. I'm just a little thrown off. Sorry. Anyways.
A deep cleansing breath for everyone. Just
all right, this is what we ask all of our guests. You're our third guest. But
still all.
I guess I'm not saying that's not bad. I'm just saying you're our third guest. What is your most embarrassing moment? Okay, don't hold back.
This is funny because I mean, I feel like I don't embarrass about the right things, like that normal people would feel embarrassed about. And so I actually like crowdsourced this, and I was like texting some of my friend groups, and I was like, "Hey, what's my most embarrassing moment that you witnessed or been a part of, or you heard me tell you?" And they came up with terrible answers. I'm just gonna say it. Like they were like lame ones. So like, remember that one time you were concussed and you were talking about raspberry syrup at IHOP, and you were just like, "Taylor, why'd you eat it all?" And it's not a real thing. I just like made it up because I had a concussion. I was like, that's not embarrassing to me. I love that
That's
moment.
funny.
That's hilarious, you know? And someone's like, "Oh, remember that one time you were singing, you know, Little Mermaid, like when she loses her voice during the soccer banquet, and then like the crowd all hushed and it was just you doing like the it was hilarious to me. Like everyone like crowd dead silent, and that happened, and I was like, thank you guys, you know. Right before this, I was wearing my overalls and I popped a button, and I said, that's embarrassing. So I don't know if that counts.
I say.
But I was like, well, that's a bummer.
She's not an easily embarrassed person.
No.
Yeah.
You just entertain easily.
I think I get embarrassed about stuff of like, that makes me look stupid.
Yeah.
So it's not like ever like.
So what's your most stupid looking moment?
I know. That's what I'm trying to think through.
Embarrassing.
Honestly,
you're on stage a lot in front of people.
Yeah.
Anything like you said something wrong?
Not like our lead pastor does. Making
No,
lots of weird sounds sometimes. which is funny but different. I don't think I've clipped anything like super strange. Honestly, I think something like I go back to is like from my childhood is I was in kindergarten. I just like remember this like really weird memory. There was a bench outside our classroom, and there's this big old painting of like an Indian head, which we were the Indians for my school. And I remember standing up there, and I had like my minions of my like little kindergartner folk that listened to me for whatever reason. And I was like, "This is an Indian. It is our school mascot." And then the bench wobbled, and I fell and cracked my head on the concrete, real hard, which is probably my first concussion.
Makes sense.
But what I remember next is the boy that I thought was kind of cute came walking by, and I was like, "Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry." But that was pretty embarrassing. So,
That's a lot. I'm proud you can remember stuff from kindergarten.
Can you not?
especially after all those concussions.
Yeah, that is true.
We've talked about this. I remember bits and pieces of my childhood.
Yeah, so that's like, I think when I think back to like one of my oldest memories is that.
Okay. So speaking of kind of like oldest memories, what's the first book you remember reading?
Okay, so this is hard because I wouldn't even say I'm much of a reader today. Like, I am a wannabe reader. I struggle to read. I've never been like a fast reader. I've always felt very slow about reading. And so I was thinking hard about this, and the youngest I can remember is Harry Potter. Me and my dad would read it together at night. Like, he would read to me, or I'd read like a chapter and he'd read a chapter, and we'd like trade off in elementary school. But like the first book that I can like vividly remember like reading by myself was like a Judy Blume book or something like that.
Solid.
Judy Moody, whatever. Judy Moody. I can't remember exactly.
There's Judy Moody and then that.
I think it's Judy Moody was the one that I read.
Judy Moody. Oh yeah, Judy. I was thinking of Junie B. Jones at first.
Yeah, Junie B. Jones.
So Judy Moody, like in 4th grade, honestly, which it was probably a lower reading level, and like reading the whole book by myself. I mean, like, I did this.
Yeah, you did.
And then I never read again until high school. I'm just kidding.
That's okay. If you
some.
read, you're a reader. Like even now.
I
Exactly.
mean, I guess
I'm
I'm
gonna
not
say
illiterate.
I was gonna say
you
you've read a lot in the
tackled
past
Throne of
6
Glass,
months.
so I would definitely categorize you as a
Yes.
reader.
A reader, yes.
And then you continue to keep reading afterwards.
Yes, which was.
Okay, do you prefer listening to music, playing the TV in the background, or silence while reading?
Okay, so I do like a little bit of everything. I don't know if it's like my ADHD brain, but sometimes I have the TV going. Sometimes I'll play music. Sometimes I'll put on like the fireplace on the TV, like the fake one. I don't have a real fireplace in my apartment, and so it's just like that crackling. So I'll anything, honestly. I'll read in the car while the radio's playing, or Christian's trying to talk to me. I'm like, what? Or so it doesn't. I don't have a preference, but I'll pretty much read wherever. Now, sometimes I can also get very distracted, and all of a sudden I'm not reading. I'm just watching TV. So kind of depends.
Yeah. I relate a lot to that. I can do either or, yeah.
Any and all is keep the brain occupied.
Yes.
Don't want to be left alone with your thoughts.
Amen.
That's a dangerous
I've
game.
been listening to lately too, so
Woof. Speaking of listening to things, I don't know why listening, and I feel like I have to say speaking of before transitioning to a question. But what's your go-to comfort movie?
It has nothing to do with listening. Like, I mean,
you listen to movies sometimes.
It does, but it's just
watch it.
I don't know. Well, it worked better, and then we went into the listening tangent, and I was like, "Oh, I can't transition the way I was going to."
Gotcha.
And I'm trying.
Comfort movie.
Movie.
My comfort movie is any Christmas movie.
Interesting.
So I love Christmas movies, and I know for some reason recently Christmas has become like a hot, like divisive topic, and people are like, you can't start Christmas before December. It's okay. Like, I don't understand why we're so angry about Christmas all of a sudden. I love Christmas. I love the Christmas season. I love Christmas movies. They're all about happiness and joy and snow and fun times, and I love that. So for sure, if I've had a bad day, I go home and I watch a Christmas movie. I don't care if it's January, February, June, July, I'm watching a Christmas movie. Some of my favorite go-tos are like Noel, Disney Plus Noel. Love that. I love Klaus on Netflix, which a lot of people have not seen.
It wasn't my favorite.
I loved it. I love it how they go into like the story of some of like how we get like the things of Santa, like the flying reindeer, and only one night a year. I just think it's so cute. And then also, I love the OG Jim Carrey Grinch, obviously. And I like the other ones too, but like the Jim Carrey ones were really fun.
Yeah.
And then, Home Alone's classic too, National Lampoon, stuff like that. But yeah, any Christmas movie is what you'll catch me watching.
So do you consider Gremlins a Christmas movie?
Okay, so it's always like real funny about these. I say anything like with Christmas, I count it. Like I count Harry Potter as a Christmas movie because there's a Christmas scene. So Gremlins, I would say yes, Christmas movie.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Glad you're on my team.
It's a terrifying movie.
We're friends. It is.
It's creepy. I watched it in like middle school for some reason, like at school. And I would just remember
teachers got away with the wildest things before.
The amount of things teachers also still get away with. Anyways,
we digress.
Speaking, no, I'm trying to think of what's an adjective, not adjective.
An adverb?
Nope. Synonym for like speaking of, like
in correlation to.
Yeah, there you go.
In correlation to just wild things that people can get away with. What are your thoughts and opinions on Onyx Storm? And this is, we're going to go ahead and preface, we didn't preface at the start, this is spoiler zone. If you have not read it, or if you have not finished Onyx Storm, I would skip ahead or just stop listening.
And we will post when to pick the episode back up.
Yeah, we will figure out where to pick the episode back up.
Because there are specific people who have not read it yet.
Yes, and we
feel sorry for them.
And we're finally making this spoiler. Yeah. We've done good for 2 weeks of nothing.
Yeah. I agree.
We're spoiling. All right. Back in Wild Things, Rebecca Yarros, everything Onyx Storm. Go forth. This is your time to just get it all out.
Oh, there's so much there and so much to talk about. Wild Things. I loved that the Holden thing happened in this book. Like it was kind of hinted at before, like she has exes and stuff. I think it was wild that she literally used to date like the prince.
Yes.
Like that is wild. And I love it that Xaden gets to be jealous of that. Like I think that is great for him.
Oh yes.
That he was kind of blindsided by it, had no idea, and it's like it's the freaking prince.
It makes her relationship with Eric make so much more sense why they were so close, because she dated his brother.
Yeah, that's what, when they met and they knew each other, I was like, there's another brother somewhere, and I'm sensing a story, and I was jazzed about it. Like I love that storyline.
I love the lower one of the correspondence of her dad being like talking to the mom and being like, I fear for our daughter's choice in men. Yes. He's like, the first one was horrible, the second one questionable, and then when they go to one of the islands and the lady's like, he described you perfectly dating Ada. And I was like,
that was a good moment too. I was cracking up. I was like, LOL. I guess your dad did not predict this one.
Nope.
Not at all. So yeah, I thought that was like wild. I loved it. I was hoping for something like that. So I was very excited about that. Oh my gosh, there's so many things. The ending is super wild. I don't know if I want to jump to the ending or talk about other things.
Apparently the ending's been planned for a long time.
The ending has been planned since the start of Fourth Wing, which is
terrifying.
What scares me. Yes. Who do you think the other villain is? Who do you think
the
brother is?
We're going to talk about this because people are like, Bodhi or Garrick, Bodhi or Garrick, Bodhi or Garrick.
Bodhi or Garrick. We know for sure Garrick is not back. Yes. That's the only thing.
But like, it's so hard. And because there's moments where it's like, Garrick talks about like, he is depleted. Like he is burnt out. He can't keep going when he's with
Imogen. But he's still able to wield.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Yeah, because I don't want him to be Garrick because I think about him being like, no, I'm not leaving you. And I'm like, oh. Is there something more?
And then he's been in.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, pain.
Xaden and Violet made it work for a whole book.
Well, Garrick is missing him.
How much time?
But so was Xaden technically.
I don't know.
It's not a lot.
It's not a whole lot.
When you start going through some of those, like when it says like a week and a month, like it is not like they haven't finished the school year.
Yeah. No, they have like
they're in March.
2 months.
Yeah. But when we left Iron Flame, like they were ending and then in the next school year. So it's like it wasn't even like a whole school year.
That's true.
I am glad
they were already halfway through the start of the next one because like Varys was keeping them apart, right? And all that Iron Flame. I was like, I have to think back, but it's like she went through
a lot happened in Iron Flame that I forget, like her whole getting captured, and then I remember her seeing Liam, but I just forget about all those pieces.
Yes.
But then when I read Onyx Storm, I was like, I remember everything. This all makes total sense.
Yeah.
That's some of those details.
I am glad though, as much as I like enemies to lovers and like the fighting and like, no, I'm gonna be with you, blah, all that stuff. I am glad that like Xaden and Violet like stay together, even though there's like, I can't be with you for blah, blah, which kind of pissed me off. How many times we gotta freaking hear that?
Yes.
But I am glad that they were like, no, I love you so much.
What were your thoughts on him calling her love the entire time?
Okay, so I think we texted briefly maybe about this.
Of like the reminder.
Him saying love for the reminder. Like the first time he said it, I was like, okay.
I know.
I was like, this is whole new language, Xaden.
pet names that is no longer just violence. Like, you
But
know,
violence is so
it's
good.
so good. It's so him. It's so them. I love it. But I was like, okay, like you're choosing to like outwardly, which I mean, you think they kept their relationship hidden too
Yeah.
for a long time, and then now they're keeping this other part of the relationship hidden, which is that he's venin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's struggling with this, so they're hiding something. So I don't know if it's part of him being like free enough to like call her love outwardly. Like I want everyone to know, like I have to keep other things hidden right now.
That's true.
Let me not keep my
Keep
love
one less secret.
hidden.
Yeah.
I think him calling her that. I don't know if it'd be intentional for him. It was like, I'm going to constantly call you love so I don't forget our love.
When
Because it doesn't
she
feel like that's a thing in his mind to me.
She also constantly said, when I look at the man I love, like, I just know she always was like, oh, this man I love. Like, and I don't think that means like anything, but it was a constant thing to refer to him. I just thought that was interesting compared with the love thing.
Yeah. I thought it was
But-
adorable though. He was like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to do that love. Like, you know, I was like, okay, it's cute.
And then talking about marriage.
Right.
Yeah, the amount
No.
of marriage drops, I was like, something is coming.
I was like,
Two
for
R's.
sure.
Lifetime.
Yeah. I was like, they're for sure getting hitched somewhere in this book.
I for sure thought they were already hitched at the beginning because of Imogen's signet. Like, basically what happened at the ending, I thought it happened at the beginning.
Oh, yeah. And they didn't remember.
And they didn't remember. I don't think she
Interesting.
remembered. Yeah.
One of the things that, when we were talking about like Xaden and love and all that, it made me think about, so my fear for this book was it was going to turn to like Twilight, like book 3, where like Edward left Bella and she's like, devastated, right? And so I was like, Xaden's going to be like, I want to protect you, I want to save you, I can't be with you. And he did try to like pull away at sometimes, like there was some of that tension, but I did not expect that it would be Andarna or I did not think that she was going to be the one.
Oh, I was not prepared for
I
that.
was not ready for that.
And break.
And that she left without
Violet.
a goodbye. Like, she
was just
she
gone.
broke it
and
and she went and then just randomly chose to come back with zero explanation. And
Wait,
no
was
idea.
she? How
We
long
don't
was she
know
gone?
why.
How long was she gone? 7.
like so Violet like was in bed, wouldn't get out for 3 days for sure.
Yeah.
I saw something that she was gone for like 7 weeks. But I don't think it was 7 weeks.
There's-
But I saw someone say in like Dragon Years for Andarna, it was like she was gone for 7 years, and that terrified me
But all,
for herself. You know what I'm saying?
but she didn't come back. Like, I guess it's like dog years.
Yeah, but I think it'd be the opposite, would it not? Because they live so much longer.
Yeah, that it
Yeah.
would have been
So-
like 7 days, and she's
Yeah.
like, "We're really not gone for long."
Yeah. And then everyone being like, "Oh, she's the one that broke the bond between this person." I really can't. I can't handle
I don't know.
it.
The bond breaking and is what's scaring me, especially with Taryn and Sgale, and how the whatever theory maybe you sent, one of y'all sent of the eggs that were taken being theirs, and that's why Taryn is so just done.
That or that they broke their bond, like Sgale and Taryn broke their bond,
which breaks my heart.
Makes me
but
so
also
sad.
the loyalty Sgale has for Xaden,
I know.
because
Okay.
it was her grandpa,
Yeah,
or his
we
grandpa.
never got any clarification on that.
No.
It's like, most people think it's like my great uncle or something like that, but it was really my grandpa. Why? And then so my mind is always like, are you and Bodhi legit brothers? And like that's just been a secret. You're like cousins, but like secretly, like you guys are legit brothers. Because he's like, everyone thinks it's my great uncle, but they think it was Bodhi's grandpa, but really it's mine.
Or maybe that was just a weird way because his dad was the revolution leader for them to kind of just twist it to keep a target off of Xaden's back, because that direct lineage is going to make a stronger signet, which was his intrinsic.
Which is
and then
weird.
Xaden's mom being alive. And
Oh my gosh. I was like, we're for sure meeting her.
I thought the lady was dead.
Think that. So I thought we were for sure going to meet her this book.
I knew we were going to learn more. I just didn't know what we were going to learn.
Now the fact that like her husband sucked and like tried to kill him.
Yeah. She has kids. Yeah.
And tried to kill Garrick.
Dude, I had whiplash of emotion.
Garrick just going at it and then Rydok almost dying.
Yeah.
Dead.
Because I was like, then it was like, because I was like, one of them has to die. And I was like, who do I want to die? But neither. And then
you say Rydok?
I say Rydok.
Okay.
I know it's Riddick.
Okay, I was like, I say Riddick.
I say Riddick.
I read it as Rydok.
I was like, you just said that, and I had to pause for a second there.
No, I fully acknowledge I don't pronounce it the way the author
wrote
it, but
everything wrong.
Oh,
I'm that
yes.
person that's always wrong. But
we kept on, like, people kept on dying and then, like, coming back. Like,
Oh, okay. Riddick almost dying in the kitchen. I
Yeah.
legit started to cry. Now, I will say, okay, I have pregnancy hormones going on too, so I blame some of that on that. But I was like, no. I was devastated for a second. And then he's like, I hate sewing. And I was like, this is why I love you. I was so glad we got more from this book.
Yes.
It was a really good character to explore more of this book. And yet it sucked to like not have the rest of the Iron Squad as much, but like
But I liked his
loved it.
personality getting to come through to
Yeah.
It was
balance
a good
Violet.
balance.
That was really good.
It was a really good balance. Needed, especially with, I feel like Xaden always being serious and Halden just being Halden like all the time. There's all this seriousness, like this war is coming, Venon's getting worse, and then just Riddick was that constant comic relief. And
but we still got the depth of him of like, just because
we
I'm
got
funny
so
doesn't
much-
mean I can't do my
yeah.
job. I was like, I feel you, dude.
And the whole thing of like them wanting to make sure like they knew about Xaden because like everyone else can choose Xaden over Violet because that's their person, you know.
Yes, and they
Right.
wanna
like
make sure
everybody like,
Violet's
oh, we want to
That
know.
was so good. It was.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm for you
Yeah.
first. You
I know.
know?
It was sweet. Okay,
What
what do we think about Sloane and Dane? Are we reading into this or not?
No, we're not reading into this for
Okay.
sure. This
It's
is setting up.
happening.
The question is it going to happen?
I really hope it does.
I hope
Now,
it does.
Rebecca said Dane is like her favorite character.
Yes.
She loves
She said
Dane,
that he wasn't a Tamlin, which scares the crap out of me.
which I don't know the reference
She
is,
just
but I will.
yeah.
But I will.
Yeah.
Be excited. That's why I have to read these things.
Well,
to
and
know.
Tamlin's not a bad
No,
character.
Tamlin's not a bad. Tamlin's a good character. Yeah.
I love it. You're not trying to spoil stuff for me.
No, but he
He really is a good character.
a very well written, complex character
Yeah.
in the same way Dane is.
So I think for Dane, like for her to love him so much too, like he's gotta
and he's had his redemption arc a little bit.
Yeah, but he's got to have like more to him, like a
I
story. So
agree.
I think that's Sloane actually liking him. Like, what a redemption arc there specifically.
Yes.
Because he is the reason why Liam is dead.
Yes.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Liam.
And so for her to forgive and move past that, like that is, I feel like full closure. Because obviously Violet has moved past that. She's let him in. Like she realized she needed the help and stuff like that. And same with, and he's also realized like his dad sucks. Like, you know, he was lied to.
Everyone, talking about like the balance of them be like, it's the daughter of a marked one and the daughter of a leader, and then they're like, they're going to be the balance because, you know, the other person was the balance of the shadows. I can't remember his name. And I was like, no, because that means something's going to happen to Violet and Xaden.
Nothing does have to happen to them because they're also then the balance of earth wielding and potentially sky wielding.
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
Okay. Do y'all think there's like a pregnancy trope happening?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
no, because
I know why you think. I want to know what you think.
So what do you think, and then I'll tell you what I
think. Which during this, as I'm reading through it, like I thought, I was like, they're talking about love and marriage, like for sure. Like this whole kid line, I just don't like. Part of me is like, I don't like. It feels crazy to bring a kid into the world in the middle of a war like this, and so I'm like, is that
also like unintentional?
Yeah, I was like, is it like a really a possible thing like that you'd want in the story? But to me, I was like, I don't know if it's because I'm also pregnant right now that I was thinking this. I was like, are they having a baby right now? Like, is this what's like? Are they?
Yeah.
Is she gonna be pregnant?
So I kept on having a feeling like I felt like it was like it's kind of hinted at, but then I saw an interview where someone was like, "Oh no, she's not pregnant," or whatever. Like she wouldn't want to bring a child into this world, but there's something about like continuing the line in the family she doesn't have.
Yes,
right.
And then, so the only reason I thought is because I saw someone post about it, and so then I saw what they went and reread it, and it's when Violet and Bodhi are with Theophany or however you say her name.
What's the one girl you
Theophany?
Where she was like. Stephanie, Stephanie, like Mike Tyson or something like that. It's like Theophany, I think is how I've said it mostly.
However, I really just didn't pronounce it. I was just like, and then just like I was like, and kept reading. And so they're standing and they're there and realizing there's an issue, and then Theophany says to Violet, "Odd choice of companion, seeing that you reek of his kin," and. In my brain, I was like, oh, that makes total sense.
Oh, yeah.
But then I'm like...
My first thought there was pregnant.
But I'm like, oh... At first, I was like, oh, no, that just makes sense. Like, she probably just, like... They've been around, smells like him. She's in his flight jacket all the time. Like, makes total sense.
And she's next to Bodhi.
Next to Bodhi. So, obviously, you reek of his kin. Because... And then someone said the pregnancy thing. I was like, oh, that makes even more sense of, like... His kin is inside of you.
Yes. Which is why,
that's how that works.
No,
that is how that works.
But I was clarifying rather than like his kin as in Bodhi's family, you reek of Xaden, and so Xaden's the interesting choice of companion because you reek of the venom that he is, and the venom is inside of you.
Yeah,
that's what I was kind of thinking.
Okay, so
which is that could be like a vampire baby from like Twilight, like
okay. I hope
like,
it is like a pure thing though. Like
yeah,
so I don't know if you've ever seen like Underworld stuff like that too. Like
yeah,
there's like a vampire and a lichen that like fell in love and we're trying to have a baby and like stuff like that. And so when it said like reek of your kin, that was my first thought. I was like, ooh, she's pregnant. And that's maybe also because of Throne of Glass though. Like Rowan talks about he couldn't scent his was it Lyria or something like that? Like he didn't scent that she was pregnant and stuff like that. And so it's like that smell of knowing when people are before they are. And it's like that was a common thread in that book. I had just finished that series.
Yeah.
And so I was like, pregnant. And part of me is like, are we gonna go down this storyline? Like this feels she's trying to master how to like lightning wield better, and now we're gonna make her pregnant. I don't know.
And in my head, she's like 17. She's not.
So no, she's not. She's 21. She's like 22.
Yeah.
And but that would also make sense as to why she feels drained quicker and like why her lightning has been inconsistent and she hasn't developed it to the fullest sense.
When she comes back and Darna goes, I will not let them burn you.
Which
also made me think back to like witch stories and stuff like that, where when they are pregnant, they burn them at the stake, right?
Oh,
so, like,
I did not think that. I took the venom route again of how Andarna's like burned the venom, and she's like, "But I will not let them."
But I thought that too. But I thought, is it because that Andarna knows that there's venom inside of Violet, hence the baby? You know,
that's why.
Right.
That.
Well, but so that's what I went both routes of either Violet has turned venom. Right, I'm not gonna let them burn you. Like when she was doing all that, did she use from the ground or something like that? There's nothing that suggests that.
But she has the 12-hour gap of memory,
right, of what happened,
and none of us know what happened.
Is it that she's pregnant with Xaden's baby and Xaden being venom, or is it just the fact that she married a venom?
Yeah,
like, there's lots of.
I want to be right about the pregnancy thing, but I don't want a pregnancy trope.
Yes.
Like, I don't want it to become a whole pregnancy thing.
Talk about that. And because I'm not that much of a reader, like, I don't know what all entails a pregnancy trope. Like, what do you mean exactly by that?
Usually it's the whole plot becomes the fact, it depends. In fantasy, I feel like it's a little bit different than in like contemporary. Yeah. But I don't want to spoil things for you. But there's one book in particular that the female main character gets pregnant. And now technically she's not the lead in the story at this point. However, it becomes very much, we must protect her at all costs. She is frail. People can't know she's pregnant. I know it was circumstance, but I still feel like that's how it would have been written regardless. Yeah. And I feel like in this case, because she's already so frail, and I think Xaden would immediately turn into she's so frail we must, and everyone would turn into she's frail we must protect her, especially if she has a venom inside of her, potentially the cure.
Right. So I think I'm not against pregnancy tropes. I know it's very controversial, and like in a lot of like the Chestnut Springs, there's a lot of like, I mean that's obviously contemporary romance, but that's a lot of pregnancy tropes, and I think it is this whole thing of like, well, then how do you figure it out? Because especially if Xaden's gone and if you're ruling a country and blah, blah, and all that stuff. So I'm not against it. I just don't want it to turn into like, now this character has lost their spark. Like she's not who she is, you know? Yeah. That's my biggest fear. And there is a whole thing about her being frail and stuff.
Yeah. But like, does having like a person inside of you, like a baby, make you stronger because you can pull like there's so many weird things we don't understand because we don't understand the Empyrean and the quadrants and stuff like that.
I realized the timeline does not work because Violet, in theory, wouldn't have been pregnant when she bonded with Andarna. But like, what if Andarna is bonding with the baby inside of her?
That would be cool.
Because there's also the whole thing of I like whatever theory it is that because of Andarna's size, like no rider can ride her. It'd have to be someone who's so small and weak, or not weak, but just
little,
tiny, and that would be Violet. But also a kid.
Yeah.
But and there's the whole thing. Yeah, where Taryn is like, you're going to be my first, like, you're my last, or whatever. And so it's like, does that mean Violet and him are going to be with each other this whole time? And
or
then
is the grief going to kill him, and then she'll have Andarna still?
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about it. Really, like,
I was just, depending on what happens, it's set up really nicely with Andarna just randomly coming back.
Yes.
And Taryn all of a sudden being so disconnected.
Well, yeah, which I was like, obviously we don't know why she came back, right? There's something there. Whether she learned something, she couldn't stay away.
And the other dragon came back to fire the ward stone.
But he didn't come back again with her, did he? Right?
He came back. I don't think we saw her. There's no mention in this
we didn't saw another
epilogue type
Irid
thing
at the end,
Mm-mm.
right?
Yeah.
And so I'm curious about that. Like, did she just say, "Screw y'all, I'm done with y'all"? Whatever. She went there and was like, "This is not like I need to go help my family." Did she find out something? Did she send something? I don't know. The Irids obviously have magic that like we don't fully, we're not fully aware of like what all their magic is. They pull from the sky, maybe is what we're theorizing.
I like that theory
I
a
do too.
lot.
It makes sense why they can talk like
And they
Violet
still have
and Darna and Taryn while they're in the Isles and stuff like that, because if she's pulling her magic from the sky without even really realizing it,
Mhm.
it gives them all that ability. I saw one person said that dream walking isn't the only gift that Andarna gave Violet. It's like one of their theories.
Yeah.
But I'm like, which the Eards do feel magical. They talk about
Yeah.
we're magic. So who's to say they can't give more than one gift? But I just don't think there's anything that I've seen to support that yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. But at first I thought her second signet, with her dream walking, might have that ability to like just go into people's minds during the day. I wasn't sure if it was just at night, what that all means. So that's what, when they were talking in the Isles, that's what I kind of chalked it up to, is like, for sure, which we didn't officially know is dream walking yet. But I was so mad, I think in Iron Flame, when she was having these dreams, and like Zayden was having some. I was like, talk about your dreams to each other, like figure this out. Like
Such
there's something going on.
miscommunication.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And so I honestly thought there was someone with that dream walking side. That's why they could talk, but it makes sense that there's magic from the sky, and that's why.
Yeah.
And Darna didn't seem to suffer, I guess, in the Isles too.
Yeah.
She didn't see
Honestly,
anything.
I want to know what happened to Broccoli. That's what I care
I
about.
know, everyone's like, justice for Broccoli.
Yeah, he just vanishes.
Okay, and do we think Mira and I can't remember that guy's name?
That
guy.
The guy who's part of
Drake?
Cats. Is it
Cats.
Drake?
Is it
Drake?
Drake?
Might be right.
I think it's
That sounds
Drake.
right.
I think it's Drake.
We're gonna go with it. Mira and Drake, people are like shipping them together.
100%.
Yeah.
It also would
obviously.
follow the line that she's keeping of enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
I also felt so sad for Kat.
I did
Just gonna be
feel
honest.
kind of sad for Kat, but not that much because I don't like her that much.
I
don't
felt
love-
bad for
I'm
her
sorry.
because she was at least moving past Zayden
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
being supportive of Violet.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, so you found happiness outside and it works and it's great.
Yes.
And now we're just going to randomly kill Traeger.
This is the last thing I'll say. I cried a lot in this book. I'll have to show the videos of me crying. But one of the worst, I cried a lot with like Zane and Violet. But one of the worst things is like the pain I felt with the dragons. Like when Mira almost died and her dragon, I was like, oh my gosh. And then when Quinn died, I was like, oh, I can't do it. And their dragon, like it hurts.
Imogen and Quinn, their whole scene.
I can't do it.
No, we can't talk.
We
It
got-
like broke. It
We
broke me
got
so
the
much.
POV from Imogen, and like I thought
I know,
that was
and
really cool.
the POV from Rhiannon.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
love
'cause
the
I texted
fact we
Hannah, I was
actually
like,
got
what's
to see
happening?
both sides of everything, and I was scared we were
Yes.
going to get stuck with Rhi and then find out something happened to Violet,
Yes.
and that's why we were
Yes.
getting Rhi to transition to the next book.
Yes, I was afraid of
But
that.
I was like, if
too.
we're getting POVs, can we get like Riddicks? Like,
Yeah, I
can
would
we,
love
like, you know, like,
And I'm glad we
Oh.
still saw Zayden's POV. Like I feel like we saw the whole thing play out.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I did like that for that last final scene of kind of really getting, because there was so much
Mhm.
happening, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Violet was way over here doing her own thing, and so I think it was really a good thing to kind of see that. To see Quinn die was so sad,
Yeah.
It-
and her little bit about like we made it a good one, like you know,
oh,
made me so sad. I was like, that's so sweet, that's so sweet. So
yeah.
but yeah, so I was happy with all those. The brother ending there with Zayden. I don't know if I want to vote Garrick or Bodhi on that more. I will say that I can't decide
Yeah.
who I think is
I
more the
don't-
brother. Not yet.
I don't know if it's who's more of a brother, because I think in this case they're both equally brothers.
Yeah.
What it? No, never mind. Because he's actually dead. I was going to make a comment about Liam coming back as Venin, but he's like factually dead.
He is factually dead.
Sadly.
Um,
Well,
Unfortunately.
and I keep thinking like everyone thinks Bodhi or Garrick, so I was like, who else could it
Though
be?
that's what I was trying to
that's
jump to is who
outside?
could be considered a brother. But I'm like, but Liam didn't see Zayden go.
Well,
through
and I
all
thought
of
about,
this.
I thought maybe it could have been Jack Barlow, because now everyone, he was like, now we're brothers. And I thought because Zayden's like
Yes.
really in this Venom moment trying to get off of it. He's like my brother, but then I was like,
He's
oh
like,
no,
but
it's
you
not.
saw how much I struggled.
Yeah, so that's why I think
Yeah.
it's.
Do we know, is Dane accounted for?
That's what
I
I,
don't
said.
know.
At the end?
I
But
thought-
then you know his brother. Yeah,
But the
But
relationship with Violet
referred
and
to
then
That's
the
true.
Venom.
That's true.
what I was like when the brother. I didn't think of it actually as
And-
familial. Like I was like, oh, Bodhi was kind of like his brother. Garrick was like his brother.
Yes.
I thought of it strictly then.
Oh, I thought it familial,
I thought
it-
not
yeah.
Venom language. But
Because
then
it was like,
now, that's
yeah.
when like Dane saw
Him
Zayden struggle.
And I also thought it could have been Brennan too.
Especially with the transfer of
Yeah.
power thing from Dane.
It's
and
not
he
Brennan.
has-
He's accounted for. Never mind.
Yeah, and he has
He's
this.
talking to Violet
Yeah.
again. Duh.
Oh, God, Brennan.
Idiot.
Sorry.
It kind of bothers me, to be honest.
But I'm also scared with the Imogen. My last thing, I'm scared with the Imogen orange dragon theory in the same way with the
I
Brennan
do
orange
not
dragon
like that.
theory and
Yeah,
how
I don't like the orange dragon theory.
I don't
Isn't
either.
Dane's orange too?
no,
No.
it's
Okay.
Brennan,
When I went to the
Imogen, and then it was Jack Barlow, and then what's his face? Leadership dude.
Bearish.
Yeah.
Bearish.
When I went to the release party and they had like your little threshing, you had to find eggs and stuff. I picked up one and it was an orange dragon. I was like, I'm putting this back.
Try it again.
I found a black dragon. I was like,
Yeah.
I ain't getting an orange dragon.
Like that's not my storyline.
Any final Onyx Storm thoughts?
Oh, there's so many. I did have one and now I lost it, I think. No, just that I'm nervous for how did you say Segal? How do you say it?
Segale.
Scale.
Segal and Taryn, that their bond is broken, that they've gone
I
ahead and
can't.
severed
Bobby's so
that
sad.
because Zayden cannot be around where they are right now because he's full Ven, or well, not full Ven. He's like next up Venom.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the weird thing. The one I sent said, is it Nailin or whatever?
Yeah.
No, I just say Nolan.
In my head, it's Nolan.
Nolan is the brewer. What's the Venom guy? That
Who
Stephanie.
we think is the
because I was like,
he's
don't
the
go with
dude who we
him.
think is the male version. And yes, the one that died, that Brennan Taryn's old writer who like
Yes.
Brennan healed or something,
That
but didn't
he-
heal,
we think,
or
like,
he
right,
healed Brennan or
The
something.
thought is that he may want Venom healing Brennan,
Mhm.
you know, and so then
Venom
basically-
healing
Healing
Brennan.
Brennan.
Okay, yeah.
he went Venom healing Brennan, and now he's that other.
Mhm.
I can't remember. I can't
Sage?
think. Sage. I was like, I can't
Is
think
that
of all
it?
these words. Yeah, like
Okay.
Sage. That Stephanie. I love saying like that. Is like, don't go to him, go to me. I saw someone like guess that like that is Nolan, and I was like,
It makes sense. I've also seen the guesses though that it's Grandpa Riorson.
okay,
Well, I don't know how else to clarify. I've seen those, and that's why there's the connection is so strong, and so the connection is
Right.
happening through the connection that he has to scale, which is connecting to Zayden, and it's not Nolan connecting to Taryn to connect to Violet.
I don't
Right.
like that at all.
That's what I've
Yeah.
seen, and that's why he's so strong about, oh, you must come to me for wisdom, and like pouring.
Trying
It's
to
like,
get
oh,
him.
You
your
get
mind
pins
trying
for
to
each
decide.
event you do?
Yeah, that's from the not anymore.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I was like, wow, that's really
Side-
cool.
Side quest right there.
She never gets to see the side of
So
things.
sorry.
I'm not used to sitting over there. Yeah, I think that's my last little thought for now that I can think of. There was so much in this book.
Really.
Mhm.
The beginning, I will say, like it took me a little bit to like get going, but I think it's also because I was slightly dreading where it was
Yeah.
going. But no, I thought it was good. I liked it. I liked seeing more of Riddick. I liked visiting the Isles, finding the Erids. Like, holy cow, awesome! I'm glad we all that one book. So I thought it was good.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
married, and she
Yeah.
can't remember any of it. Oh, this is the last thing. So Imogen, like I know.
Her signet?
Her
Second
second
signet?
signet, right? Let's talk about that. Yeah, okay. we
Sorry.
can. So, I loved it when Violet asked Bodhi, like, "What's yours?" And he was like, "I don't have one, just like Zayden." It's like, okay, you're some sort of
Alright.
kinsman or something like that. And so after Garrick, his was like revealed, I was like, oh, they all have second signets
Mhm.
because of their mark or whatever. Like something's going on there. So the moment where she's like, you can almost hear like the moment she realizes she has to save her and Dane by showing off her second signet, which I think is funny because he
I didn't
sees
even
it.
put together that it was earth wielding or whatever
yeah.
it
Oh,
was
I did-
until I saw stuff later, and then all social media tying it back. I was like, this is when they talked about earth wield and all this stuff. I was like,
Right.
wait,
Mia
that's
being
what
like,
happened.
We don't know an earth wielder and stuff like that. But Imogen helped out with that project too. But she
Yeah.
takes people's memories.
Memories.
Yeah.
So she could have also helped with things and then been like, swoop.
Yep. And so it was like, I love that Dane saw that one. He also saw Garrick's, I think. And so like Dane's fully aware they all have two signets
Yeah.
where there's
Mhm.
something strange going on. So
And then Eric's signet, just like
Just like,
just out there.
Casually.
Let's just
I loved
be
it.
chill.
and
the
he doesn't
moment-
say anything that he manifested a signet either.
no.
He's
But
just
that's the whole
like,
thing
let me
is, like,
just drop this bomb and then walk away. Let me
still
drop
has
this
it.
bomb and walk
And he
away.
already told him, guys, I can see the future.
No.
I don't know if it's because he doesn't trust it, believe it. I don't know if he's just unsure about it.
No.
But in that moment in the hallway, he grabs someone to pull him out of the way before they like
Yeah.
said, "Oh no."
Because there's
Broken-
nothing in the same way as like in
broken scene,
10-6
yeah.
where they're like automatic death. There's nothing like that with seeing the future because like
No, 'cause
they
it helps.
praise it with what
Melgren,
Melgren,
whatever.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, but his is like battle specific.
But like just general seeing the future is way
more
important.
powerful,
Yeah.
you know?
Especially, which is probably why he's hiding it though, if he's Prince in line and they would want,
Maybe him to roll.
or
Yeah.
Halden would then choose to kill him to keep him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep him out of line.
True.
Yeah.
True.
It's definitely all things I thought about too. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, speaking of books, sorry.
Great transition. We know that's one of your favorite books right now, Robin, but what
Well,
about?
we know it's one of your favorite books right now. You just read it and you're currently on ACOTAR, but A Court of Thorns and Roses, first one.
Yes.
Are you going to continue in the ACOTAR series? So like what's your next read? Or maybe after ACOTAR even.
I'm on like chapter 2.
Oh, okay. You're
so
early.
I am, like I started reading it the other night and I fell asleep. And so I was like, I'm going to pick this up again. So I hope I like it. I think because I want to understand, like I said, the memes, I'll probably push through it no matter what. It's just a matter of will it go fast or will it go slow? For that, I'm also reading A Ride of a Lifetime by Bob Iger right now too. I like to read like for fun and then like for educational purposes or leadership purposes.
Bob Iger is Disney, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. At first when you said Bob Iger, I pictured Bob Goff. And then I was like,
I love Bob Goff too.
I was like, that's not right.
I've read most of his books.
That's not the dude's name. And then
so
you
it's
saying
like,
A Ride of a Lifetime again.
The tagline is like 15 like knowledge or lessons learned from 15 years of being a CEO or being CEO of Disney, which he's back now again. He wrote this once he left Disney and like retired, but now he's back again. So it's funny. So I don't know if there's gonna be like a part 2 that comes out.
He should go ahead and update it.
Ride of a Lifetime part 2. But it's really cool. Just even his young life of like working at ABC, like network wise, like bottom tier, was involved with like a shady boss at one point and like got fired because of it because he wouldn't do shady things. And but then gets to go to this like Frank Sinatra concert and he has like a gift from Frank Sinatra. It was like really cool. Like he just helped produce it and stuff. So there's some really cool stuff in there. But I'm like probably like a third of the way through, maybe a little more than a third of the way through. So still got some ways to go on that. It's good.
Good.
Are we going next? Or are we skipping around?
Let's just go next because the rest kind of transitions. Unless you just want to jump past the book question to the next one.
We can kind of go past.
Yeah, let's go past. We talked about a lot.
What's the best advice you've ever been given?
So I always tell people my pappy told me like 3 things. He's like, these 3 things will save your life one day. It's like, never forget them. And the first one is lefty loosey, righty tighty. The second one is red next to yellow, you're a dead fellow. Red next to black, you're okay, Jack. And then the third one being beer before liquor, never been sicker. Liquor before beer, you're in the clear. And so those are like my 3 life lessons that I'm like, they've served me really well, pretty solidly.
Yeah, I say.
Up until now. And so that's a silly thing, but like I love those. And those are like the 3 things I like kind of stand by of like my pappy being like, hey, these will save your life one day. And I feel like I probably have already.
What's the best piece of advice or what's your go-to piece of advice? Sorry, so I was going to say the best piece of advice you give, but I'm like more what's your go-to advice?
Red next to yellow. I'm just kidding. I would, gosh, my go-to piece of advice.
Don't go on bookshelf opinions.
If Hannah calls you randomly on a Saturday night at like 8 o'clock, don't answer.
They know.
You know Liz was in the background.
Yeah.
I would say, look, this is going to sound like a super churchy answer and stuff, but probably my best piece of advice to people is to pray about it more. Spend more time with God on it. You know, whether it's fasting or reading, just to like discern those answers more easily, because I know advice I can give is only so far without the Holy Spirit behind it. And so it sounds like a super churchy Jesus answer, but I would say that. And then next to that is don't get that tattoo.
So real. Watch the Pete Davidson reel.
Yes. He's like getting rid of all of his tattoos. And I'm just like, I want to send this to every 18-year-old I know right now. Because I promise it's not as big as you think it is right now, or it's not as important. And, you know, it's permanent. Which I love tattoos. I have them, but sometimes think through more than, oh my gosh, I love pizza. We should get pizza tattoos.
We should get pizza tattoos.
We should get pizza tattoos. Totally do it.
I'd be
But
down.
let's
Hannah's
first watch
doing
the
it.
Pete Davidson video.
Yeah, about getting them removed, and then think about the money that Pete Davidson has that you don't
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
to get them removed.
I know him casually just being like, yeah, I'm getting them all removed. I'm like, that's
Wow.
Like-
expensive.
Just wipe and clean.
And then you
know?
have like Machine Gun Kelly doing the opposite, just going completely
Like,
let me just get it all out.
Let me go. Yeah.
In that similar vein of advice, what's the one thing that you wish everyone knew?
Awesome. Me and Hannah. I'm sorry, I don't know why I feel like you want to answer.
What? I didn't even hear what you said. I was just me and Hannah. I was like, okay.
I wish I was talking about this one before coming here, and I said how to solve like world hunger, world peace. And Christian's like,
Solid answer.
yeah,
I mean, good answer.
Christian was like, no, you don't want everyone to know that. And I said, I do want everyone to know that because then it would be solved. If we could do, I was like, I guess world peace, like there would be no more like stupid fighting and stuff like that. Like if we could figure out how to all get along, that would be incredible. So if everyone could know that, that'd be great. Or how to like have healthy conflict maybe with people. I think there'd be so many problems solved, so many petty issues that just makes life more enjoyable for everyone. Not sure if that's like the line you were thinking for that one.
That's actually right on the line I was thinking when the question was written. So
Yeah.
World hunger.
healthy conflict.
Oh.
I mean, world hunger too. Nothing against world hunger and world.
You're
peace.
not passionate about it? You don't
Nothing
care that
against
people
hunger.
No, but I was thinking of more of just the vein of like what's something that
If we're peaceful,
Robin
we can
kind
solve the
of-
hunger issue.
Exactly.
You know?
I was thinking of like what's something Robin actually knows.
Oh, I don't know.
Unless if she knows how to solve world peace and world hunger, I would like her to share.
Yeah.
I am gonna tell no one. So
Perfect.
tell no one. No, yeah, I wish I knew the answer to that because it would make the world such a better place to live in.
It really would.
It's
I
giving
guess the other thing I could
pageant
go
answer.
with, I know, right, is what I want everyone to know. I want you to know that Jesus loves you. Like that'd be an easy one. He died on the cross for your sins, right? He's always around, and so that'd be an easy. If everyone knew Jesus, solves the hunger,
yeah.
and
Solves
the peace.
the-
You know.
For sure.
Look at you. You just solved world hunger and world peace.
You're welcome, guys.
You know.
I can quit my
All
day
in
job.
one podcast episode.
podcast.
I can quit my day job now.
Okay. What do you want to be known for?
Oh me.
Did I skip a question?
You did skip a question,
My
but
bad.
we can go to what do you want to be known
What
for?
do I want to be known for? I always like to tell people that like my hope is like when you describe me, like the first word you say is like funny.
Looking.
Because
Sorry.
nope, not funny looking.
I'm my father's daughter. I'm so sorry.
Ooh,
Don't take fashion advice from Hannah. No more.
ever again. She's trying to make people think that I'm funny looking all the time.
Okay, you look so cute at conference last week.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I tried a decent amount. Not like real hard, but enough that I was like, I picked my outfits out before like I went, you know. That's fine. I always am like, I'm an amateur comedian. And so I typically like lean with that. Like, I hope people think I'm really funny. I hope people laugh at me, like with me, not at me. But I guess what I want to be known for is I hope people don't like think negatively of me, like she's a B word or anything like that. So hopefully I'm known for my kindness, my love, my joy. Being a joyous person would be super great.
So on your tombstone, we're going to put she was not a B word.
Yeah, actually, that'd be great. Actually, I want you to put buried alive.
Have a little bell just like hanging, you know, on the string. So like you're supposed to pull in case
Yeah.
you got buried alive.
Alive, yeah. I used to joke with my one friend in college that I was going to have it in my will that it would say something like, don't believe it, Harry did it, or something like that, just like to blame him for it. And he's like, that'd be so mean. And I'm like, you never know.
Speaking of like, in relation to being known for things,
Which I'm known for nothing right now.
but and how that has shaped you as a person, how have you seen God move in your life? Like, what is your big like
Defining.
not defining moment, but just
Defying gravity.
Holding space. Holding space, guys.
but it's just but when you look back in your life, sorry if I don't stay on track, one of us has to, and usually it's her who keeps us on track.
Really?
Yes.
I would not think so.
It's not. It's not going to be her. And when it's us together, we need someone else.
Yes.
And when it's us together, we need someone else.
So this is a terrible
It's a horrible
this is a
trio.
trifecta, right?
But like
You're the one that's been saying, wrap it up by texting
Not
me.
wrap it up. I was just trying to keep us like moving. Otherwise, we would speak for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
On Onyx Storm easily.
Exactly, and we can just do that off air,
off camera.
Off air.
Sorry. Can't get anything done around here. I try to be
There's a question
serious.
somewhere in here, and I know.
How have you seen God move in your life, Robin?
Yeah. How have you seen God move in your life?
I mean, I'm breathing right now, so that's a win of God moving in my life.
Thumbs up.
Way to answer the question.
Quick and easy. Yeah, I think there's lots of God movement all around. One of the ways that I like talk about a lot or see that I'm just like, this is God moving is my time when I lived in Germany, getting connected to a church again, kind of just not being a faith follower or connected to Jesus, and having strong people just like take a chance on this like hood rat of this American girl just in Germany, just like messing stuff up and being like, hey, you should come be part of our church. You should hang out with us, and just really extending grace to me. I was like, God places people there, moved big time. That radically changed my life for the better. That allowed me to get connected to faith again, faith followers, and connected to church. And then once I moved back to the States, same thing. So I would say that's like a big God movement that really altered the course of where I thought my life was going. Because I thought I was going to live in Germany forever and like stay in Europe and just like bump around the world, you know? I was like, I'll just backpack, I'll figure it out. You know, I'm smart.
And now you're here.
And now I'm in Newton, Georgia.
On the best podcast in
On the
Newton,
best
Georgia.
podcast in Hannah's bedroom in Newton, Georgia.
Way to just reveal the location like that.
Oh, my bad. In a undisclosed bedroom in Newton, Georgia.
Thank you. So we kind of talked about like the past. What?
Guys, we gotta work on your segues. Just say the question. You don't
I
have to
feel
segue.
weird just asking the question though. I've been so used to having to segue everything. Like that's how I was trained.
So we
It's like
talked
you
a lot
segue.
about how to like reflect on your life and with God, and so now
She's good.
with the stage of life you're in, well, actually no, I'm a teacher. I'm really good at talking. I'm just kidding. I'm horrible.
I was like, bring it down.
I talk every day, so you know.
I teach people how to talk. Just kidding. What one song would you choose to define the stage of life you're in right now?
Okay. I'd probably say Again by Fetty Wap, like playing on my JBL speaker. I'm just kidding. I love those memes right now though. Like they are so funny to me. I don't know
The
why.
one that's like Manon going to visit Dorian.
Yes. Classic. I love the one because I was like something about like George Washington, like filming and stuff. And it's like playing the JBLs. I was like, I just love it. I've been dying.
I have no one to send it to because I'm like, I don't know if Hannah and Belle will like, I don't know.
You send it to me. I think they're so funny.
There's one of Alpha going to find Fiora. So sorry. I'm sorry. I thought that one was so good.
I love it that you're losing it now. No, I love like they're my favorite.
Yeah, tell us your song.
But so I joked like Stacy's mom because I'm about to be a mom, but that's not that silly.
So you're naming your son Stacy.
I know. I was like, that's a terrible name.
Name
for
announcement?
A boy. Like,
No,
You're right. It's gonna be Hannah Hank.
Yeah, Hannah Hank.
Hannah, go by Hank.
Hannah Hank. Nonstop. From Hamilton. That song
That's
kind of cycles back through all the time because that's how I feel my life is. It's nonstop, and I'm like, I'm working hard. So I like that one, and then or Dancing Through Life, which is wicked, but
great one.
So good.
I hope I'm always dancing through life. Like that's the outlook I want to have every day. So that's where I'm at.
Great answer.
Great answers.
But Fetty Wap, I was kidding.
For sure.
Song of the episode.
Yeah. Sponsored by. I was kidding.
Well, that's all we have for you, Robin.
I was about to ask you like comments, concerns to us, but don't say how you feel on there.
I got big concerns,
We'll give you
y'all.
the survey
I'll let you guys know.
after
Well, if you have
this.
any questions to ask me and Hannah, I'm just kidding.
Say, reverse interview now.
Yes.
Flip it.
If you could pick a cereal that describes your life, what cereal would that be?
Lucky Charms.
You're not that lucky, but okay.
Exactly. That's why I need the charms.
That's why I need the charms.
Fruity Pebbles.
I love Fruity Pebbles.
I love Fruity Pebbles. They taste so good.
They're so good, so delicious.
They are.
Describe
I
your
like
life.
Fruity Pebbles like if you make them as Rice Krispie treats.
Yes, my
So
favorite.
good.
But are they magically delicious?
Friend mom that did that. A friend's mom that made them.
A friend mom.
Friend mom would be
She
like, oh.
was a good friend to me too. Janie, I'm talking about you. She's awesome. She would like if I got like in jail, she'd bail me out today. Like she's a solid mom.
Good. Don't count on Hannah for that.
Yeah.
To bail you out. Nope.
But she's my lawyer, so
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
bail me
It's a
out.
weird gray area,
Yeah.
actually.
Anyways,
On that note,
thank you guys so much for having me
Of
today.
course.
being
Thank you for
on.
wanting to be on it.
I've just loved it so much.
we've loved having you.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. I'm sorry, I'm not good at this.
We never know how to sign off.
Oh, look, do you guys not have an official like
We don't have an official sign off. It's usually as awkwardly just, and then finally we're like, okay, bye.
Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure joining you guys today on the podcast. I hope you enjoyed our little dive into Onyx Storm and some fun facts about Robin. Not that I'm famous or anything. So for like my mom who maybe listens to this, thanks for listening. And we will see you guys next time.
We should just hire Robin.
Yeah. Bye.
Economy's increasingly stalling, and honestly, that's why public service seems to be calling me. I practice the law, practically perfected it. I've seen injustice in the world, and I've corrected it. Now for a strong central democracy. If not, then I'll be Socrates throwing verbal rocks at these mediocrities. Hamilton at